Wow, okay, it's snowing. Snow, wow, more sleet, but snow in December. Absolutely unheard of. I haven't heard of snow in December for many years. I can't remember the last time it properly snowed, but this is proper snow. Anyway, the subject for today is exhausts. Specifically, how to polish one. Now, I've mentioned this a few times, but I'm actually going to do it because it's been about 6 months since I've actually looked at that exhaust system. The main thing you need to understand about most modern exhaust systems, standard exhausts that you can pick up from your car parts or wherever, they're not mild steel. Mild steel used to be a thing years ago. These days, pretty much every exhaust is made of aluminiumized steel, which is basically steel, ordinary steel, which has got an aluminium coating on it. Now, theoretically, they won't rust because of that coating, but there's two things. Obviously, the inside, where you get a lot of water vapor if it's a car that's not used, not get driven to temperature, or basically water vapor is allowed to build up in the silencers. They can rust from internal over long periods of time. Or secondly, as exhausts are mounted low in the car, they get scratched. When the metal gets scratched, the aluminium coatings come off. That's when the rust starts and they start corroding. So naturally it will happen at some point, but I'm hoping to slow the process down by keeping a protective layer on it, and it's basically auto sol. So our main weapons of choice really is, just get a dirty microfiber, a dirty one, because that's going to look worse after this. That's not actually bad at all, but I've got plenty of them. And auto sol, which is coming out of I've got to get some more of this, but it's brilliant. Basically, it will not just polish the exhaust, clean it up, it will leave a protective residue, and that's the most important thing about this. And I'll show you the state of the exhaust. It's been on for 7 months and there's not a problem. There's not any blemishes at all really, apart from in certain corners. And also just get some fine sandpaper. I don't know what grit this is, probably about 800,000, with some water, and we're going to do some wet sanding. Now, on a Focus Mark 1, there are two types of exhaust silencers that you can get at the back. Now, this is the first type, and it's a sort of ribbed design with this, like, it's sort of like welded in sort of two halves, and then you've got this rib here. It's quite big. It's quite nice to look at actually visually. But the other type is kind of like squarer, and it's sort of like, it's the ordinary type that most people will have on their Focuses, and it's kind of squarer. That back box is specific to 1.6, oh sorry, the 1.4 and the 1.6 models. The diesels, the 1.8 petrols and the 2-litre petrols will have one of these. Now obviously my car is a 1.6 automatic, so I asked why my car has, basically when I ordered the part, I thought it was the right parts number and everything, the right exhaust number for 1.6 automatic, because it's slightly different to the manual system. It would be the same for the middle box. That's actually different for the automatic as well. It's slightly bigger, and both of these units are actually Clarius units. And I queried this, and they said they fit by standard the same silencer from the 1.8 2-litre to the 1.6 automatic because of the need to drone down the exhaust. So both of these, well, not that one, not the middle silencer, I don't think, but certainly the back box would be very similar to the 1.8 2-litre. In fact, identical on the inside with the baffles. They're all slightly different. There's more baffles in the 1.8 2-litre, but this is the correct parts number. But you can have two different types. But if you go for a Clarius, I can't remember what the parts number for this, I'm sure I'll throw it up at some point. That is the correct back box as far as Clarius are concerned for 1.6 automatic. Now, whether it came out the factory with one of these, I don't know, or the flat type. Because I remember when I bought the car, it had the flat type, but it would have been on its second exhaust by then. So anyway, I'm going to get cracking with cleaning. Now, what I'm going to do to start off with is literally this end is just starting to go a bit rusty. It's going to get going a bit funny here. Now, what you can do with that is you can just wet sand it. Literally, I just wet sand it all the way around, and this will take away the tarnish. If you ever taken your car to a show and you don't want your tailpipe looking really dirty, then this is the way I would suggest you go about it, because on a Mark 1 Focus these tailpipes get dirty very quickly. I mean, look at that. That is quite clean, because I've made sure it doesn't get ridiculously dirty. But it's about creating, you know, stopping the build up, because if you I always look at tailpipes on a Mark 1 Focus that, you know, with the original exhaust, and even just you've got a stainless steel system, which I did have a stainless system for this car, and I've still got it, but unfortunately there was a bit of damage to it, to one of the baffles, and I had a bit of an argument with the company that I had it made from. I don't really want to, I can't really name the company, I'd get into trouble for that, but put it this way, it wasn't brilliant. It wasn't a big branded chain that do exhaust, I'll put it that way. See, if I just get in there, it just makes it a little bit less visible, and then just go around. Yeah, Mark 1 exhaust tailpipes, they get really dirty really quickly, and this is the best way of getting it back. This is very fine. It's old sandpaper. Old sandpaper is even better because it's even finer. And that's coming off an absolute treat. And you can do this on a really dirty exhaust. You probably have to go for a bigger grit though. You probably have to go for like a 240 grit. Start with that and then get thinner. And then you can basically get your tailpipe looking brand new, and your back box. But I think you'd have to drop your back box off the hanger just here, and then you kind of have to go for that. And then you can sort the whole back box out. But that's looking a heck of a lot better. So you can barely see anything at the end. So I'll finish this off, and then we'll go for the polish. Okay, so going a quick with some auto, so I've just gone over the entire thing, and then we just polish it up. Literally just spread it across the whole thing. Obviously I'm going to go further and get this pipe looked at as well, and just, you know, polish the entire pipe. That looks okay, it doesn't look tarnished. No one's going to see all this pipe, so I'm literally just going to go over and just polish that silencer there, this pipe, and have a look at the down pipe, because the down pipe looks really good as well. But I want it to stay like that. You know, most people would think, why you're doing it, it's not tarnished, but the truth is that's why it's not tarnished. You've got to do it when it's looking good, not when it's starting to look bad. That's too late. In fact, I might want to take this sticker off, but yeah, looking really good. I mean, there's a bit of tarnish here that I can't really get out without dropping the box, but to be honest with you, it's very minimal. It's just where the weld is. Cleaning up the weld, the wet sanding really does clean up the weld. It's just a bit in the corner here, but it does clean up the welds, and the welds on, you know, aftermarket standard exhaust can be a bit ugly. So it's worth going over a bit of sandpaper and giving it a good polish up. See, that is looking amazing now. And let's just go around here. See, that's just cleaned up really nicely now. It's actually looking better than it did a few minutes ago. And that's the idea, and just give it a clean on the inside as well, I suppose. Stop the build up. That's the main way of doing it. Fantastic. Right, I'll try and move further back and get the other bits done now. Namely, that pipe. I mean, that looks fine. Where it goes over the subframe into there. Bit of rust along the. Again, they tend to go just around the weld, so I'll have a look at that. But I'm going to stop filming here, but you get the picture. That is how you polish up your exhaust, clean it up. Now if your exhaust is a bit more rusty, then it's probably too far gone. I wouldn't recommend it. But if you've got a newish exhaust, you can maintain it this way. Right, I'm going to get in. I'm going to finish this off and get in, because it's freezing cold out here. Freezing. See you soon, guys. Take care.